Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and a new edition now today on our real live studio here. And I'm very happy that I have Dr. Keith Barron here, the CEO of Aurania Resources. And we want to talk about the company because a lot is going on. Welcome and good day, Keith. How are you?
Oh, I'm just great.
Super. Great to have you here. Thank you very much. And there's, of course, always a reason when we meet us. And honestly, I saw something really interesting going on. I think it was on Facebook and also I think it was Instagram. There's a lot going on your boundary of your concessions. And I saw, people doing like, I could say, almost industrial scale mine with my Spanish is very poor, but I understood 50 excavators. So what's going on there?
Yeah, you heard about this too.
Yes.
Everybody's been hearing about it. Good news travels fast, I suppose.
It looks like.
Well, it's very, very interesting. Actually, there's been a bit of, well, the only thing you could describe it as is a modern day gold rush. And it's right down on our southern boundary. I talked about this in a press release. We hired a new head of corporate social responsibility, Carolina Lasso. She got us into a new community down along the Santiago River called KIM, K-I-M-M. And she said, look, we had a meeting in the community and a bunch of artisanal miners showed up. I said, really? And I said, where are they working? And she said, well, I'm not really sure, but let me find out. And then she did a little bit of digging and she came up with this Facebook posting from November of last year, and I was totally unaware of it. But gosh, there may have been as many as 1,000 miners working down there. A lot of them have been 1,000, 1,000.
Okay.
With 50, very, very organized group with 50 excavators. So you just think about this for a minute. 50 excavators. You know the price of diesel these days.
Yes.
It's my contention that with 50 excavators, they were mining perhaps anywhere between $500,000 or $1 million worth of gold a day.
Yeah, of course. And also those excavators cost money first to buy them.
Yeah. So these guys are illegals. They've been claim jumping a bunch of legitimate mining claims that are they're owned by cooperative miners. There are no illegals on our property. I want to stress that. And most of these people have already been cleared out by the military. The military grabbed a couple of more machines just the first week of May. So they've been clearing them out. But these are placer gold miners. They're not hard rock. They're mining placer gold, which is downstream, down the Rio Santiago, reaching all the way to the border with Peru. Now, we're talking about a very, very long distance here, but most of the concentration is in 15 kilometers, and it's just to the immediate southeast of our property, which is what interests me. I mean, I'm not really all that interested in alluvial gold, placer gold. I want to know where the hell it came from.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I just wanted to say. It must come from somewhere. It's not falling from heaven, right?
Well, yeah, it doesn't come from heaven. Maybe the miners think that, but it's obviously by the quantity we think it's coming from a source nearby, and we have a couple of first-class targets, epithermal targets that we've been investigating. Now we haven't done a lot of work on gold for 18 months now, and that's really my fault. We should have been doing this, and in the new mandate of the company, I've actually talked about this many times that we're concentrating right now on porphyry copper, epithermal gold. This is where we think the future of the company lies, and especially with the gold price kind of moving around and going up beyond $2,000, why the hell would you be looking for gold, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, the miners are doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, you found the company a little bit with the story of the lost cities from the Spanish ones, right? Yes. So maybe you are on the trace now of one of the lost cities.
So this is where it gets really, really interesting. Really. So there were two of them, Logroño de las Caballeros and Sevilla de Oro. And they vanish out of the historical record after 1605. There's nothing more. And then after 1630, they vanish off the maps. There's nothing more, right? So they're lost somewhere in the jungle. these places are not like something out of Treasure Island. This is for real, because we have hundreds and hundreds of documents that we've found out of various archives, and even contemporary maps showing the positions of these places. But they're not very accurate, right? They're 400 years old, right? Long before they had GPS. So the thing is that going through the historical records, this area, the Rio Santiago, actually fits. Now, even more to the story, if you cast your mind back, remember we've had a group working with us called Metron. And Metron is a company that specializes in searches, right? They work mostly for the U.S. Department of Defense, but they use something...
Artificial intelligence also, right?
It's working with big data, and it's called Bayesian search theory. And the lead scientist actually applied this to find something very, very remarkable that's actually called the Ship of Gold. And the Ship of Gold was the SS Central America, which went down off Cape Hatteras in 1857, carrying $3 billion, today's dollars, $3 billion worth of gold, most of which came from the San Francisco Mint. It was found in 1988 using this technique. So this is the second case where the same group of people have used Bayesian search theory to find something that is essentially lost, in this case, for 400 years, right?
I see. Yeah.
It's the most amazing thing. Now, 3 years ago, Larry Stone, the lead researcher, came to me and he said, I think that Logroño is actually this stretch of river. And I said, stretch of river? It's supposed to be one spot where they had maybe an underground mine. He said, no, it's a stretch of river. We've run everything. We incorporated all the historical data and all the geochemistry and geophysics and everything else. This is what it's telling us, right? And I, quite honestly, I kind of ignored it, right?
You doubted it a bit.
I doubted it because... there hadn't been an invasion of miners. There weren't 1,000 people working there at the time. But I think the trigger was the gold price starting to move up, and somebody must have got wind of it, and then told another person, and then suddenly there are 50 excavators there. That's what happened, right? This is actually truly what has happened here. So, guys who are mining essentially on, as you said, an industrial scale here. And mining tremendous masses of gold. And the only reason that they've stopped is because the military has kicked them out of there because they were illegals, right?
Yeah, I saw some photos also, like with really military guys putting some
guns and everything.
And some titles on the excavator.
Well, this is exactly what we want to see. We don't want the government tolerating this stuff and letting it happen. I mean, I don't want our property invaded. I don't think that's going to happen. But, the government, this government, President Lasso's government, is on top of these things, right? And nipping it in the bud. So this is a very, very important development. This is the first time that this Bayesian search theory has been used in the mining business. And not only have they found potentially Logroño, they found the Awacha target, really 2 years, 3 years before we started. We hadn't even done the soil sampling on top of the thing. But they identified that area back in 2020, and they said, this is very, very interesting area here. They thought it was potentially the second lost city. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But it is our Awacha porphyry copper target, which we want to get into and drill later on this year.
So that's what would be also like one of my questions now. What is the game plan for the rest of the year, of course?
Well, three things. And as I said, we're concentrating on porphyry, we're concentrating on gold. I want to find the source of this gold, right? And I think it's local. Just judging by the amount of gold. I mean, you can if you knew how to pan, and I'll show you one day.
Okay. I love to do that.
I will teach you. I will teach you. But you can take a pan with a couple of shovelfuls of dirt, and you can get over 50 colors in it, downstream from our concessions. And that's 50 colors is incredible. You know, I have this mining operation in Montana in the U.S., and they say in the U.S., 5 is fine, 9 you mine.
Okay.
So if you've got more than 9 pieces of gold in the pan, it's considered to be rich, right?
Okay.
And so this is all indicative of something. I mean, there has to be a source, right? The gold's coming from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I want to track that down. I want to drill a watcha. And from what Steve Garwin, our porphyry expert, has been telling me, it appears to be a cluster of porphyries, not just one, a cluster. I want to drill that later on this year, and I want to drill Tatasham. Tatasham is my favorite.
Okay.
And I love this thing because it's so big. It's 3 kilometers across. It is a coincident magnetic anomaly and resistivity high. It's a resistivity anomaly. I think it's what we call a magnetite skarn. It's similar to a porphyry. It's the sort of thing you get when you have an intrusive into a limestone package. It's a little bit technical. However, let's just see what metals. We know that there's a lot of iron there because we can see it on the magnetic profile. But let's hope there's copper, lead, zinc, silver, gold. Let's just hope so. We won't know because it doesn't come to surface. It's not exposed. We won't know until we drill the thing. But I want to drill that thing later on this year. And that'll be very, very exciting.
I believe that. Okay. So coming back to the lost cities, then let's speculate a bit. Let's really, for the regulators, also forward-looking statement. That's now pure speculation, please, also for our viewers.
Yes.
But what could happen or what might happen? Let's assume really you find the lost city as the source on your property.
Well, wouldn't that be a wonderful thing?
It would be fantastic, of course.
Yeah. So where the gold, I think where the gold is coming from, there's an area, and it's in the gorge of the Santiago River. It's a very, very deep gorge. It's 600 meters deep, and it's impossible. I mean, you'd have to abseil down the side of the cliff to examine it, right? You really can't. It's all covered in foliage and everything. But potentially, one of these zones is coming right down to the edge of the gorge, and it's eroding and down into the gorge and then washing to the east, and then it washes out. The river is very, very fast within the gorge. It's like the Niagara Gorge, which goes to Niagara Falls. It just goes, and it's too fast for the gold to settle out, right? And then when it gets further to the east, the land flattens out and the river starts to go like this, starts to meander and it starts to braid. The velocity drops. And that is a classic in alluvial gold terms. It's what we call a drop zone. So that is the place where the gold would drop out of the water column onto the bed, onto it sinks in these gravel bars and that's where these excavators have been mining, right? So where is it coming from? Well, I mean, the way that this is always tackled is you follow the gold and you follow it upstream until there is no more, and then you backtrack a little bit, right? Because you've gone over the source, right? In this case, I think there are multiple sources. So there might be one here, one here, one here, one here. We just don't know at this stage. I mean, this is early, right? This is early. I mean, this is only just started. It just happened, right?
Yeah.
So I want to throw a bunch of geologists and very, very intensively prospect and map the areas around this and potentially find the gold zone. I mean, if nothing else, we know that there are gold anomalies there, epithermal anomalies, which we were going to investigate anyway. But I want to firm this up so that we can have some drill targets maybe later on this year as well as the other stuff.
That would be super. Sounds like a great game plan. I wish you really all the best for that, because also I'm a shareholder of the company. I should say that long term, and I paid much higher prices than today. Be sure. And so I hope that we can talk very soon about some good success. And wish you well. And please find the lost cities.
Working on it all the time.
Super. Thank you very much, Keith.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there was Dr. Keith Barron, the CEO of Aurania Resources. And it looks like they are now really on the trace of the first lost city, because with that alluvial gold, that is a very, very big sign, even to me, I'm not a geologist, but I really understand a little bit as I'm doing this over 20 years. And yeah, something big hopefully will happen soon here. We don't know yet. It's a 50-50 chance to my understanding, but it looks quite good because 50 excavators and 1,000 miners, they must have found something really nice, because otherwise it makes economically no sense. So follow Aurania Resources, check out the company, and stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.